Hey, what's up guys, it's B3L here and welcome to my very first video on this channel. And yeah, I said this channel specifically because I already have another one with over 200,000 subscribers, but that one is in Portuguese, which means that no one who speaks English actually knows me, and I'm a Lunar Partner. But anyway, I just wanted to start something new, in English of course, and still be myself. But I've been playing this game for over 14 years, almost 15 years, and PvP for at least 10 years. In this time, I managed to find the best client settings ever, in my opinion of course. If you hate it, it's okay. I'm not only making this video to show you guys my settings, I'm also showing you how to configure them so you can put it however you like. So if you like this video, please consider subscribing and liking this video and maybe come back to other videos in the future, because I'll really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm sorry for wasting your time. I had to do this really long intro to explain myself. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And guys, just because I'm a Lunar Partner, it doesn't mean I'm right. But it does mean I have experience with the client, because I've been using it since the beginning. So please don't be mean at me in the comments. Thank you. Okay guys, I'm recording this in another day, so my voice may sound different, but I'm gonna show you the Lunar Client launcher settings as well. So for this, I'm gonna go to Lunar and click on the gear icons on the bottom left, and then I'm gonna enable the shield right here, which is advanced settings. This RAM allocation depends on your computer. If you have 32 gigs of RAM, you can put more than 4 gigs in Minecraft, but it's not necessary because Lunar is not that RAM intensive when you're playing with just a couple of mods. But if you play Skyblock, if you use a lot of mods, just crank this up to like 6 or 7 if you have 32 gigs of RAM. If you have 16, you can leave it on 4. If you have 8 gigs of RAM, you can leave it on 3. If you have 4 gigs of RAM, you should not be using Lunar. You should not even be using Windows, honestly. But if you have 4 gigs of RAM, just put 1.5 gigs and it should be good. And all of this is personal preference, but I really don't like to keep this launcher open when I open the game, so I click on hide. For the game update delivery, I put it on normal. You can put on late if you want. I don't suggest you put in early because you will receive updates earlier than normal people and you will see more bugs. So normal or late. I'm gonna keep it on normal because that's what's recommended. But trust me guys, do not always trust the recommended settings, because for example this recommended keep open. Why do you recommend me to keep the launcher open when I'm playing the game? It doesn't make sense. See, of course they choose recommended because it's the one that benefits them more. So for this, I click don't show, which is the mission control visibility. Okay, and for the use OSR overlay, you can disable this, but these two on the bottom, if it's enabled, don't mess with them, okay? Okay guys, for the general tab, this is personal preference. But if your launcher is lagging, you can enable the hardware acceleration or disable the hardware acceleration if it's already enabled. But for the rest, it's all personal preference, but I leave everything disabled. And this computer startup, do not use this ever in any software because it will start with your computer. For example, if you take this, Lunar Client will launch when you turn on your computer, which will use RAM and CPU and everything. Of course, it's not that much, but if you enable that on a lot of programs, this will catch up and use half of your RAM. So disable this always, and the rest is all disabled. For account, this is 100% personal preference, but you can choose whatever you like here. But these are my settings if you want to copy them. Storage settings, I put it recommended 1 week. For the logs and cache, click on clear logs and then click on clear cache. This will temporarily increase the launch time for the first time because it's launching everything again and it's gonna create new cache files again. But this, if you have a lot of cache files in your system, if you have selected disk, for example, forever, you probably have a lot of cache files inside your system. So if you click on clear, it will probably be better after a couple of launches. So just clear the cache, clear the logs, and put this 1 week or 2 weeks. I'm gonna put it on 2 weeks. Okay, not tweak, but 2 weeks. For the notification, I put it on never, and disable everything. I do not like notifications. Discord, I do not like to use Discord rich presence on any games. Yeah, so I disable both of them. For the privacy, this is really important. If you are crazy with privacy, you can disable this, and manage preferences, and click on reject all purposes, and you disable everything. Just disable everything and click on save and exit. This probably requires a restart, but it's okay. Now that you have changed all of these settings, I think Lunar Client already looks and feels a little bit faster, at least the launcher. Again, this will probably take more time because it's the first time you're launching 1.8.9, but trust me, after it will probably be faster. So let's go. Hey guys, these are my settings if you want to copy them and leave this video. I understand if you don't want to know about them, but if you want to like this video anyways, I really appreciate it. Okay, so no sorting, reorder mods by dragging. FOV, this is the FOV. Hit color, this is the hit color. Everything is enabled on 1.7 visuals. Toggle sneak, zoom, Hypixel Mods, tab editor. Okay, better sounds. You can pause the video and copy everything. Motion blur, titles, scoreboard, chat, Hypixel Bedwars, this or disabled. Pack organizer, time changer, 3D skins, herd cam, lighting, 2D atoms, looks pretty nice. Block outline, screenshots, uploader, boss bar, nick hider, name tags, crosshair, just a dot. And yeah, these are my settings for the mods. Now for the settings tab, these are my settings. If you have bad FPS, disable the cosmetic, all of them. Performance tab, controls tab. And yeah, for all of this to work, enable the dynamic FOV and disable the fast render, okay? And guys, just to complement it, if you use the large GUI scale, a little bit smaller than the auto, put the chat settings like this, chat settings, all of this, it looks pretty clean like this. But if you use it auto and you have 1920 by 1080 resolution, put it lower, like 45 or 50. But yeah, these are the settings, and I hope you guys enjoy this. It looks pretty clean in my opinion. It gives more of an FPS boost. But if you really want a more FPS boost, don't use the mods like 3D skins or motion blur, and then enable the fast render. But yeah, I'll do a more detailed FPS boost guide in another video, okay? So now let's go to the more detailed explanations, which are not too detailed, but also we're gonna make you understand a little bit more of these settings. Okay, I'm interrupting really quick just to tell you guys about my cloaks. As I said in the beginning, I'm a Lunar Partner and I have a bunch of cool cloaks that you can buy. It's cheaper than the normal cloaks, so you'll be spending less money if you buy one of them, and if you do buy one of them, I'll really appreciate it. But yeah, all the links are in the description, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this video. Thank you. Okay guys, I'm interrupting my interruption. This is crazy, I feel like Rick and Morty. But if you liked me for some reason and you want to support me even more without paying a single cent, you can use my code when you're buying something on Hypixel. You just proceed to checkout and you type in the creator code area. Okay guys, it's not B3L, it's BIEL. I will receive a little commission from this, and you really help me without actually giving me anything. I'm just there for you to support. Since this channel is not monetized, if you do this, I love you so much. But yeah, sorry for interrupting my interruption. I promise I'm not going to. Okay guys, I'm interrupting the interruption of the interruption. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm never gonna do this again. I hope you like this video.
No.
If you just want to play the clean profile, I recommend these mods right here. I'm going to show you one by one. So the FOV Changer is the first one. I prefer to put 80 FOV on every single setting that is the default one. Default FOV, speed 1, speed 2, sprinting, and flying. I always put the same number on all of them. But the trick here is to not leave it at 1, the multiplier. You have to put it on 0.5. So for every multiplier you put on 0.5, and for every default FOV you put it on a number that you want. This will make sure that it's very smooth and it doesn't change a lot when you run or when you throw a speed potion, okay? And make sure you have enabled the dynamic FOV in Minecraft, okay? So when I just walk, it doesn't change anything. When I run, it changes a little bit. You can tell by how the FOV changes a little bit. And if I throw a speed potion and run, look at this, it's even faster, it's even more stretched. It's not so much that you cannot aim. This will make you better at PvP, I guarantee you. Because if you change this and you put it on the default Minecraft FOV, look at this, it stretches so much more and you may lose your aim because of this. So for the hit color, I just leave it on this color right here. You can copy if you want, but also I like to use this one. It's red and it's gray. I'm gonna show you an example. For the gray one, you just hit the person or the mob and it'll turn a little bit gray. But if you want to use the red one, you can hit the mob and it's more red. It's like more saturated, like in old Minecraft. 1.7 visual needs a lot of explanation. The first one is block hitting. Difference between them is way more noticeable than you think. So one of them looks really choppy and the other one looks pretty clean. Guys, for glint rendering, this is very noticeable on your enchantments. Look at the difference between the enchantments on 1.8 and 1.7. One looks way more vibrant and the other one looks slower and less vibrant. For sneaking, it's the same deal. One looks way better than the other. Okay, 1.7 in default POV. And this is 1.8. Way less smooth. For the third person held items, this is the difference. Just goes down. And item transforms is a compatibility mod. So as you can see, it moves a little bit of the first person sword. But just set this to 1.7. If you're getting glitches with resource pack animations, just leave it on 1.8, okay? Okay guys, now look at the hearts. The hearts are flashing a little bit and it's really hard for you to notice when you're losing the health or not. But if you enable this and you look closely, it changes a lot. So look, now it's very straightforward. It doesn't glitch anymore. This is a really good setting in my opinion. You should have this enabled because it makes you more aware of your situation on your health. This sounds like I'm talking about real life, but no. It's just Minecraft, okay? The hurt camera shake in 1.8 it shakes more, and in 1.7 it shakes less when you're taking damage, as I was right there. Since I enabled this hurt cam mod and put it on 12, it doesn't make a difference, okay? And for the item specific toggles, it's basically exactly the same as the item transforms, but for specific items, okay? This use item while digging is not working for some reason, because even if I disable it, it works the same way. For example, if I enable it, I can do this on the ground, and I can use the item while digging. But if I go to 1.7, the same thing happens. See? So the mod is always on, so it doesn't really matter. And this always swing option, I really don't know what it is because they just added this. So if you know, comment below because I'll read every comment, okay? Okay, 1.7 visuals is over. Let's go to toggle sneak. For the toggle sneak and sprint setting, you just have to do these settings right here. Just copy everything. It doesn't really matter. But I have a tip for you guys. If you want to run without any interruptions, just go to your options, controls, scroll down, and for the sprint, you change to I or O. I changed to I don't know why. If you tap I, you'll always sprint. And you cannot mess up because even if you press control, you'll not stop sprinting. So that's a good tip for you guys if you want to play always sprinting. But if you play parkour, don't do this because parkour requires you to stop sprinting sometimes, so don't do that. Just leave it on control if you want to do that. For next setting is zoom. Pretty self-explanatory, is just a zoom in Minecraft. These are my settings and these are the results. It's very smooth and you can scroll in. Very nice. Hypixel Mods, this is very important. The difference between this disable and enable is crazy. You will see that I have a lot of hiding options enabled and removing options enabled because I want to make Hypixel as clean as possible. So with these settings, Hypixel looks exactly like this. When I join a lobby, I can just see people talking in the chat. And for the tab, I cannot see any guilds. For me, that's perfect because I do not see any interruptions in the chat. It's not spammy at all. But then again, if I disable this, look what happens. So the tab is messed up. I cannot see anything. People are joining the lobbies now. And there's more as well. There's not only this setting to make the tab look better, there's always a tab editor, which I will show you right now. Okay, next mod is the tab editor. Okay, the next mod is tab editor. These settings are very self-explanatory, but I will tell you each one of them. So toggle tab is basically if you want to toggle the tab when you tap it once. So I tap it once and it stays on the top, as you can see. For me, it's not useful, but if you want to always see who's in the server, if you're playing like a Skyblock server in your island, or you're playing a survival server in Hypixel, you can see everyone who's inside it and maybe their ping if it's enabled on Hypixel. But yeah, I don't like this at all. Now let's go to the tab editor again. So display player head, this will disable the player head and also glitch the end of the tab. I don't know, for some reason it's both sides, but yeah. Hide Hypixel NPC. Sometimes if you're in a game, you'll see the NPCs watching you. Disable the header. It will disable the top of the tab, and disable the footer will disable the bottom of the tab. If you want to keep the header on, because it says you are playing on mc.hypixel.net, you can, but the footer is always ugly. It says rank, boosters, and more. Who wants to know that? Who wants like an ad on their tab? Honestly, I don't. And Lunar icons on the right, you can place this if you want to see who's using Lunar. I personally like to see who uses Lunar, so yeah, for me, I'd leave this enabled. And these are the colors of the header, the footer, and the background. Since you already know what header is, footer, and background is this right here, you can change it for yourself and test it out. But use pink color for rows. This is really bad in my opinion, because now the whole row is painted a little bit, as you can see the tint color. And I don't like this at all. I just leave it as it is, all gray and everything. And this is the row color. You can change it as well to make it look like the background of your tab. And you can highlight your own name on the tab. But yeah, the next mod is the better sounds. This, I don't have to explain anything about it, because this is basically to change the sounds for each mob and item and the music and random things. So, but I don't have to explain anything on this mod, okay? Motion blur, you can test it if you like it. View 1 looks like this. I don't know if you can notice it, but looks a little bit choppy in my opinion. V2 looks a little bit better. It's a little bit better motion blur. And the V3, in my opinion, looks the best. More even, in my opinion. It doesn't look that choppy. Hand as well looks pretty cool. It looks almost like the Bedlion motion blur, which they bought. So maybe that makes sense. Okay guys, I'm recording in another time, so the next mod is the titles mod. This is pretty simple. It's just the text that appears on top when you lose the bed or when you lose the game. This mod, I just leave it like this, but you can change the color, the text, the center, the position, and you can show the title or not. You can show in HUD editor. I leave it like this and the smallest, and then I move it to the top. And for Scoreboard, this is pretty cool because you can remove those red numbers that look ugly in my opinion, and you can add a text shadow, which looks a little bit good. It looks better. You can hide the Scoreboard as well, but I leave it like this. For the chat, this is pretty cool because if you see how many things it has, you can choose it for yourself. But the most important things, in my opinion, is more modern chat length, Hypixel, which will make the length of the chat bigger. Normally in servers, that's a good thing because you can see if someone talked to you when you were AFK and you can send them a message. And this setting right here, stack spam messages, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't, but this will make it so you cannot spam the chat. So if I say A and you try to say A again, it will only show the same message with a times something after it. So, I mean, this looks nice. I'll probably use it now. Unlimited chats will make the chat unlimited. So if you join the game and you stay AFK for like 2 weeks and you come back, you'll see the beginning of the chat. And the super long chat single player, I don't understand the difference between this and unlimited chat. But if you do, tell me in the comments below. I will really appreciate it. Text shadow is basically the same thing as the Scoreboard. Stop servers from closing chat. This is really important because if you are typing in the chat and someone goes into a game and you are in their party, your chat will not close. Copy chat, you can copy a message if you hold control. So for example, if I go here and hold control and click on it, I copied my message. So I copied what I said. Hover image preview, I've never used this, but apparently if someone sends a link and you go on top of it, you will see a little preview of the image. But it looks cool and all, but I don't receive links in the chat and I never click them. You should never click links in chat, okay guys? Smooth chat is to make the chat smoother. So if I type A, T2, AD, 4D, 56G. If there's a pilot watching this video, you should try 56G for 5 seconds. I dare you. But anyways, the rest I leave it disabled. It's just to highlight the names and how you want your name to be highlighted. And this is profanity level. You can put a profanity level on normal, which will grab their presets for bad words and will not appear in the chat. You can make a custom profanity filter so that if people are calling your name in a specific name that someone calls you and you don't want to get bullied by them, so you just click on custom filter and a notepad will appear and you have to type the words in each line. So you type a word and you press enter, you type another word, and then you save this. When people talk in the chat and say the word that you typed there, it will not appear, okay? But you have to put on the custom profanity level, because if you don't, it's not gonna work. And yeah, you can see the timestamps as well in chat and everything. That's cool. This is a good mod. Honestly, Lunar Client is very, very complete in my opinion. And now, since they bought Bedline Client, this client will be the best, the biggest and the best client ever. There is no doubt about that, because they will implement everything that's good in the client. For the Hypixel Bedwars, I don't use it, but I know how it works. So if you join Hypixel, for example, and you go to the Bedwars map, the Bedwars lobby, and you enable the Hypixel Bedwars stats, you can see your stats there, the height limit, you can see the map, upgrade display, you can see the traps and upgrades that you have in your island. Team display, you can see your teammates. Timers, you can see the timers. I don't know what it is. Maybe the timer for the emerald and the diamond, I don't know. I really don't know what this is. If you know, tell me in the comments, because I don't know everything about this client. Colored beds is to make the beds with the color depending on their team. If they are the green team, they will have the green colors in your screen. Hardcore hearts, it will change the hearts to hardcore when you lose the bed. And customize trap alerts, and you can customize the trap on your screen when someone goes into your island when you have a trap. But yeah, this next mod is a game changer in my opinion, because if you have a lot of texture packs, you know that it's pretty hard to find them if you don't know their name, or you just want to categorize them. In a normal Minecraft instance, you cannot do this. So Lunar Client added this a while ago, that now you can put folders inside the resource packs folder, and you can separate the packs. And if I click on open resource pack folder, I'll see that there is the Minecraft resource packs, and I can put the folders in here. And inside those folders, I can put all of the packs. Okay, this is pretty simple, but some people don't know this exists. A lot of people that just install the clients, they have no idea that this is possible. And it makes sense, because not everyone plays Minecraft with a client, okay? So if you want to add more texture packs in Minecraft, you can put them all inside a folder. You can separate them later if you want to make the Bedwars texture pack folder, and then the Skywars texture pack folder, and a survival texture packs folder, so you can use with your friends when you're playing. That makes it way better in my opinion, okay? So yeah, this mod is a game changer for me. It's really important, so enable this and show incompatible packs. And the time changer is this just to change the time, and you can use the real current time. So if it's nighttime for you, it will be nighttime in Minecraft. I just like to use it in the middle. You can increase time and decrease time. I put it on brackets, so if I hold the bracket, the time will change. I don't use that a lot, but I mean, I put it like this. Time passage will be how fast the time passes. So this is 20 times faster, I think. So Minecraft will be way, way faster when you're looking at the sky. 3D skins. This is very customizable, but basically, as you can see, you have a lot of options for the hat, for the sleeve, for the pants, jacket, right sleeve, and pants, right pants, I mean. Voxel size, torso voxel width, and you can change the sizes of the squares that you see. As you can see, my hair, for example, I cannot show this right now, but I'll go to a person that has a very, very 3D skin right here. Okay, so for example, this girl right here, she has a skin with a lot of details on her whole skin, as you can see. On the left arm, right arm, torso, and legs, and hair. So she's 100% 3D right now. If I disable that mod, it will be way less 3D. Let me show you guys. See, it's just the normal Minecraft thingy, because now it's like a straight line. This is sharper than an atom, I think. But yeah, I enabled this to have 3D skins, and yeah, it's pretty cool. For the hurt cam, this is pretty nice, because when you're taking damage, you can disable the animation intensity of the damage. This guy was hitting me, but let me show you in practice. If I do time set night, and I grab a zombie, as you can see, my screen is not shaking that much. It's just shaking a little bit. Look at the horizon. It's just moving a tiny bit. And if I want to make this better, I can make this better or worse. I can put it like at 2. Oh my god, he's gonna kill me now. I have to kill him. Okay. Let me kill all of these zombies. I just need one. Okay, perfect. So I think... Oh, regen. Perfect. Okay. Look at the horizon. It's moving like crazy. But now I can put it on 12 as it was before, and it moves just a tiny bit, which looks better in my opinion. So this is the hurt cam mod. It's perfect if you want to play Bedwars or any game that you take a lot of damage and you cannot lose your aim because of it. So the next mod is lighting mod. Okay, the full bright is basically this. See, it's all dark and everything. If I go to full bright and enable it, see, full bright, it was already enabled, but look, lighting, see? It's way better in my opinion to leave this on. 2D items is pretty amazing in my opinion. I cannot play Minecraft without this. Look at this. I'm gonna drop all the items and all of the items are looking at me, which makes it so much easier to understand which items are there. Because if, for example, you eliminate someone in the game and they have a lot of items, if this is disabled, if you look fast, like for example, the sword is right, you look fast, you didn't see the sword because it wasn't looking your way. But if you enable this, every time you look there, you will see the sword. See? The sword is looking your way, so even if you don't play fast, this setting is for you. Okay guys, next setting is block outline. This is basically for an outline in the block. So if I go to block outline and enable it, I will have an outline outside the block. But if I want to put a block overlay, I will have it inside the block. Look, if I put it on like almost a black color and I move around, this is like the block overlay. I can place blocks better. I don't know who uses this. I think bridgers use this the most, because you can see which block is being looked at. But in my opinion, block overlay doesn't look that good. I think block outline is enough because, I mean, it looks better than Minecraft. The default Minecraft, I mean. And it has some settings to change static and rainbow and everything. You can mess with this if you want, but now you understand what this is. Screenshot uploader. This is basically when you take a screenshot in Minecraft, you have a button to copy it and to upload and everything, but I just use the copy option. And sometimes I put it on automatically copy the screenshot or not. I will disable this to show you. F2, you see a copy button. If you copy this, and for example, you go to Discord or you want to paste in Photoshop, you just paste it and there's your screenshot already. For the boss bar, it's basically the Ender Dragon boss bar if you want to render some individual things. In my opinion, just disable everything. But for example, there is an example if you want to render it. See? If you just want to render the text, you can just render the text, but I'll disable everything. Nick hider is basically if you're streaming, if you're making a YouTube video, for example, and you want to hide your nick, you can do this by enabling nick hider. And now my nick is B3L. I don't have this account, but yeah, this is nick hider. Name tags is basically to show the name tag of someone, to put a text shadow, to have a third person name tag. As you can see, the text shadow right there is like very subtle, but it happens. Or replace the name tag color. Let me put it on red, for example. See, now my name tag is red, and see, it's if you want to show your name tag, your nick or your real IGN, you can enable this. I will not enable my name tag in third person. These are my settings, okay? But yeah, now these settings right here are really up to you. You can, for me, it's not necessary at all. But maybe some settings are necessary if you want to do specific things. For example, if you play UHC, you can enable the UHC overlay. You have some specific things that you can change. Coordinates, if you're playing Soup PvP or if you play survival, this is perfect for you. And if you want to see the day counter, if you want to see how many days you're playing in survival, direction HUD, if you want to see the direction you're looking at in survival too. And Hypixel Quick Play is basically a mod that opens a menu that you can play games instantly. For example, if I press R, I can see all of the mini games I can go. So if I want to go to housing, I'll just click housing and I'm inside the lobby. This is pretty cool in my opinion because you can switch games really fast. And for example, if you're not on Hypixel, this does not appear to you, because imagine you are like in a single player server and you can join Hypixel. That would be cool actually, maybe that happens. But yeah, I don't use this. FPS to show you FPS. The last most important mod in my opinion is potion effects. If you want to see your potion right here, your potions. And these are the settings that I use for Bedwars and Scours. I already showed it in the beginning, but if you want to use this, you can. I do not use this most of the times, but sometimes I want to use it to see what's happening with the potion effects. I don't think there are more mods that are very useful. Just if you're a beginner in Bedwars, you can use TNT countdown to see a countdown on a TNT when it's about to blow. But yeah, you can mess with all of this and learn for yourself. These are just my settings that I'm explaining, okay? And now in the settings, in the general tab, I recommend you to put borderless full screen if you have two monitors. Minimal view bobbing, modern keybind handling. I recommend this a lot because minimal view bobbing does this. Your crosshair does not move, your screen does not move, just your sword and what's around it. And for the modern keybind handling, when you're inside your inventory and you hold W and you exit your inventory, you start to run automatically. So I'm holding W right now and I press E and I press E again, I'm still running because I'm holding W. If you disable this, it will not work because this is in newer versions of Minecraft. Keep inventory centered is to center inventory when you throw a speed potion, and raw mouse input is basically to register exactly what you're moving in Minecraft. For example, if you go to mouse settings in Windows and you change the cursor pointer options and you disable the enhanced pointer precision, you do not have to enable that. So disable in Windows and you will see the difference. So for example, this setting right here is directly linked to that one. It's exactly the same setting, but it's the reverse. So if you disable this, it already means that the Minecraft raw mouse input is enabled. You don't have to enable it, but just to make sure you can. But in Windows, this setting right here, enhanced pointer precision. So if I enable this and move my mouse to the right very fast, 10 centimeters, the mouse cursor will be on the end of the screen. But if I move the exact same distance but slowly, the mouse cursor will be only here. This means that the mouse movement is not constant at all. This means that your aim will not be constant and you will never get used to aiming in Minecraft. So please disable this and enable the mouse raw inputs, okay? Raw mouse input, I mean. And this part I will not be explaining since it's not a mod, but I recommend you to disable every cloak if you don't have a good computer, okay? And for the performance tab, this is related to Minecraft directly. For example, lazy chunk loading is already in Minecraft, but this is to make it so the chunks load slower, so you get more FPS. If you want to have the highest FPS boost, you put it on the lowest setting, okay? I leave it on medium, for example, because it's in between. Enchantment glint as well is just to show the glint. Hide end portals, never. Turbo name tags, this is something new. I don't know what this is, but it's supposed to increase the FPS, so I will enable it. If you want to disable the entity distance, okay, so if you want to make the farther entities appear, you just put it on high. If you want to make it so it's very near you, you put it on low. But yeah, I'll leave it on medium. And this is just to hide helmets, leggings, chestplate, boots, and the settings only for yourself. And you can hide a bunch of things right here, okay? Okay, so these are the settings. I hope you understand what at least these settings mean. If you have any question about other settings or anything in the client related, just ask in the comments below. And I really hope you enjoyed this video because it took a while to make, okay? I had to speak a lot, which I normally don't in English. This is like my first time in years speaking this much English. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this. And yeah, guys, your support means a lot. So if you want to support me even more, you can buy my cloaks in the description below. So I have a lot of cloaks right here. You can have a lot of capes, cloaks. You can buy them in the website that's in the screen as well, the Lunar Client store. It will mean a lot to me. It will help me a lot, okay? I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching, and I see you in the next one. Bye.